waited 10 years for him to return from war. He didn't come alone. My name is Olivia. I am 39 years old. I kept my promise to wait. He forgot he ever made one. Our story began in a small town. The houses were old and the streets were quiet. Everyone knew everyone. My life was simple. I worked at my family's bakery. The smell of fresh bread was my morning alarm. I was happy with my simple life, but my biggest happiness was Leo. Leo lived down the street. We grew up together. We played in the fields. We climbed the big oak tree on the hill. He was my best friend. When we got older, our friendship turned into love. It was a sweet, easy love, like a calm river. He had kind eyes. His smile made my world bright. He would bring me a wildflower every morning. He would leave it on the bakery doorstep. I would find it, and my day would be perfect. We planned our future together. We wanted a small house with a big garden. We wanted children who would play under the same oak tree. Our dreams were simple. Our love was strong. I thought nothing could break us. But then the war came. It was a dark cloud over our happy town. Young men had to leave. Leo had to leave. I remember the day he told me. We were sitting under our oak tree. The sun was setting. The sky was orange and pink, but my world felt gray. I have to go, Olivia, he said. His voice was soft. Tears fell from my eyes. I could not stop them. No, Leo, please don't go. He held my hand. His hand was warm and strong. I have to, but I will come back, I promise. I will come back to you. He looked into my eyes. His eyes were serious. Wait for me, Olivia. Please, wait for me. I nodded. I could not speak. My heart was breaking. I will wait, Leo. I will always wait for you. We made a promise that day. A promise under the old oak tree. He promised to return. I promised to wait. He gave me a small wooden bird he carved himself. Keep this, he said, so you don't forget me. How could I ever forget him? The next day, he was gone. The town felt empty without him. The bakery felt quiet. The wildflowers on my doorstep stopped appearing. My world lost its color. But I had his promise, and I had my promise to him. That promise became my reason to live. The first year was the hardest. Every day felt like a year. I wrote to him every single day. I told him about my day at the bakery. I told him about the town gossip. I told him how much I missed his smile. I ended every letter with the same words. I am waiting for you. I love you. He wrote back. His letters were my treasure. I would read them again and again. I would hold them close to my heart. He told me about the cold nights and the long days. He told me he missed our oak tree. He told me he missed my bread. He said my letters were his sunshine in a dark place. He said he was counting the days until he could come home. His words gave me hope. They were a thread connecting our two worlds. I saved my money. I worked extra hours at the bakery. I wanted to have enough for our small house when he returned. I found a little plot of land near the river. It was perfect. I could imagine our garden there. I told him about it in my letters. He loved the idea. Our dream felt real, even when he was so far away. His parents were like my own. I had dinner with them every Sunday. We would talk about Leo. His mother would show me his baby pictures. His father would tell me stories of Leo as a boy. We were a family waiting together. We found strength in each other. It's easier to carry a heavy weight when you have someone to share it with. 2 years passed, then 3. The war continued. The letters started to come less often. Sometimes weeks would pass with no word. My heart would ache with worry. Every time I saw the postman, I would run to him. My hands would tremble. Sometimes there was a letter. My heart would fly with joy. Sometimes there was nothing. My heart would sink. Waiting is a hard job. It is a job for the heart. My friends started to move on with their lives. My best friend, Clara, got married. I was her bridesmaid. I saw her happy face. She was starting her family. I was happy for her, but a part of me felt sad. My life was on hold. I was a statue, waiting for my sculptor to return. Clara would sometimes look at me with sad eyes. "Olivia," she said one day, "it's been so long. Maybe you should think about yourself." I knew what she meant. She wanted me to be happy. She wanted me to live my life. But my life was Leo. My promise was my life. "I will wait," I told her. "He will come back." She hugged me. She understood. Or maybe she did not, but she loved me. That was enough. The 5th year came. The letters became even rarer. Maybe one every few months. They were shorter. His words sounded tired. He did not talk about our future house anymore. He just said he was okay. He said he hoped I was okay. I told myself he was busy. I told myself he was tired. The war was hard. I had to be strong for him. I kept writing my long letters full of hope and love. I tried to send him my strength through my words. Then one day, a different kind of letter came. It was not from Leo. It was from the army. My hands shook so much I could not open it. Leo's father opened it for me. His face turned pale. His hands started to shake too. The letter said Leo was missing. Missing in action. The word missing is a strange word. It is not dead. It leaves a little space for hope, but it also leaves a huge space for fear. The world around me went silent. I could hear my own heartbeat. It was loud and fast. Leo's mother started crying. I could not cry. I was frozen. Missing, was he hurt? Was he captured? Was he alone? My mind was a storm of terrible questions. The not knowing was a special kind of pain. It was a pain that ate you from the inside. From that day on, our waiting changed. Before, we were waiting for his return. Now, we were waiting for any news at all, good or bad. Just something to break the terrible silence. The town looked at me with pity. I could see it in their eyes. The poor girl who wasted her life waiting. Some people were kind. They brought me food. They talked to me. Others whispered behind my back. She should move on, they said. He is probably gone. I learned to ignore them. What did they know about our promise? What did they know about our love? I kept working at the bakery. It was the only thing that felt normal. My hands knew how to make bread. The routine was calming. Knead the dough, shape the loaves, put them in the oven. The simple actions kept my mind from screaming. I started talking to him, not in letters, but in my heart. I would go to our oak tree. I would sit on the cool grass. I would look at the sky and I would talk to him. I told him I was not giving up. I told him to be strong. I told him to come home. I felt his presence there. The wind in the leaves sounded like his whisper. I will come back, it seemed to say. Years 6, 7, 8, and 9 passed in a blur of waiting and hoping. A silent, gray existence. Leo's parents grew older. The sadness was carved on their faces, but we never gave up hope. Hope is a stubborn thing. It can live in the darkest corners. I kept the small wooden bird he gave me on my bedside table. Every night, I would hold it. Its smooth wood felt comforting. It was my connection to him. It was a symbol of our promise. A promise I intended to keep. Then, in the 10th year, the war ended. The news spread through the town like wildfire. People were celebrating on the streets. They were laughing and crying and hugging. It was a day of great joy. For me, it was a day of great fear. The soldiers started to come home. Every day, a train would arrive at the station. Every day, the platform was filled with families waiting. There were tears of joy. There were emotional reunions. Fathers hugging their children. Husbands kissing their wives. And I was there every single day. I stood at the back of the crowd. I searched every face that came off the train. My heart would pound in my chest. Each time a man stepped out, I would hold my breath. Is it him? Is it Leo? Days turned into weeks. Many soldiers returned, but Leo was not among them. His parents came with me sometimes. We would stand together, our hope getting a little smaller each day. But we did not stop coming. We could not. One afternoon, I was at the station again. The sun was bright. The train whistled as it pulled in. The doors opened. A crowd of soldiers stepped out. I scanned their faces, just like all the other days. My heart did its usual painful dance of hope and fear. Then I saw him. It was him. It was Leo. He was thinner. He had a scar on his cheek. His hair was shorter. But it was him. His eyes. I would know those eyes anywhere. Time stopped. The noise of the crowd faded away. All I could see was him. My heart exploded with a joy so big it hurt. Tears streamed down my face. He was alive. He was home. Our promise was fulfilled. I started to run towards him. Leo, I cried out. My voice was choked with emotion. He turned his head. He looked in my direction. For a moment, his eyes looked confused. Then, a flicker of recognition. He saw me. I saw him smile a little. It was not his old, bright smile. It was a tired, sad smile, but it was his. I was only a few feet away from him. My arms were ready to hold him. My heart was ready to welcome him home. And then I saw her. A woman was standing next to him. She was holding his hand. She was beautiful, with long, dark hair. She looked at him with love in her eyes. And then I saw something else. A small child, a little boy, was hiding behind her legs. The boy had Leo's eyes. My legs stopped working. I stood frozen in place. My running feet felt glued to the ground. The word Leo died on my lips. My brain could not understand what my eyes were seeing. He was not alone. He came back with a new wife and a child. He walked towards me slowly. The woman and the child followed him. He stopped in front of me. He looked uncomfortable. He looked ashamed. "Olivia," he said. My name sounded strange coming from his lips. I could not speak. I just stared at him, at his hand holding hers, at the little boy who looked so much like him. My whole world, the world I had built for 10 years, crumbled into dust. The hope that I had carried for so long turned into a heavy stone in my stomach. I didn't know if you would wait," he said. His voice was low. He would not look me in the eye. It was so long. I was a prisoner for 3 years. I thought I would die there. He looked at the woman. "This is Maria. She was a nurse. She saved my life." Maria looked at me. There was no hate in her eyes. There was only pity. The same pity I had seen in my town's eyes for years. I did not want her pity. "We thought everyone was gone from our old lives," he continued. "We built a new one." He gestured to the little boy. "This is Sam. 10 years. 10 years of waiting. 10 years of letters. 10 years of keeping my promise. 10 years of talking to him under the oak tree. 10 years of holding his wooden bird every night. All of it for this moment. This moment of complete and utter heartbreak." I looked at him. The boy I loved was gone. This was a different man. A stranger with Leo's face. A man who had forgotten his promise. A man who had built a new life while I was keeping his old one safe. I felt a strange calm wash over me. The tears stopped. The pain was so deep, it was silent. I just nodded. I did not know what to say. What can you say when your life's great love story ends in front of your eyes? "I'm happy you are alive, Leo," I said. My voice was a whisper. It did not sound like my own. I turned around. I walked away. I did not look back. I could feel his eyes on my back. I could feel her eyes on my back. I walked away from the station. I walked away from my past. I walked away from the girl who waited. The walk home was a blur. The town looked different. The bakery looked like a strange building. My house felt like a stranger's home. Everything was the same, but I was completely different. I was broken. I went to my room. I saw the small wooden bird on my bedside table. I picked it up. For 10 years, It had been my symbol of hope. Now, it was a symbol of a lie. I wanted to throw it. I wanted to break it into 1,000 pieces, but I couldn't. It was a part of me, a part of my story. The first few months were dark. I felt empty. I felt foolish. I felt so angry. I was angry at him for breaking his promise. I was angry at myself for believing in it for so long. I had given him 10 years of my life, the best years, and he had come back with a new family. I did not go to the bakery. I did not want to see anyone. I stayed in my house. My friend Clara came every day. She did not say much. She just sat with me. She brought me food. She made me tea. Sometimes we would just sit in silence. Her presence was a comfort. It told me I was not completely alone. Leo's parents came to see me. They were heartbroken too. Their son was home, but he was a stranger. They felt his shame. They felt my pain. "We are so sorry, Olivia," his mother said, tears in her eyes. "We loved you like our own daughter." Their kindness was both painful and beautiful. One day, Clara said something that stuck with me. "You kept your promise, Olivia. Your heart is pure. He is the one who has to live with a broken promise, not you." Her words were simple, but they were powerful. I had kept my promise. I had been loyal. I had been strong. The story did not end the way I wanted, but my part in it was honest and true. I had nothing to be ashamed of. Slowly, very slowly, a little light started to enter my dark world. I started to think. For 10 years, my life was about waiting for Leo. My dreams were his dreams. My future was our future. I never once asked myself, what do I want? What does Olivia want? I was 29 when he left. Now I was 39. I had spent my entire adult life waiting for someone else to start my life. I realized I had to start my own life. For myself. It was scary. I did not know how. My identity was so tied to him. I was the girl who was waiting for Leo. Who was I without that? I started with small steps. I went back to the bakery. Seeing the familiar faces was hard at first. They looked at me with sad eyes, but I held my head high. I smiled. I kneaded the dough. And I found that the simple work still calmed me. One day, I decided to sell the plot of land by the river, the land I had bought for our house. It was a painful decision, but I needed to let go of that dream. A young couple bought it. They were full of hope and love, just like Leo and I used to be. I was happy for them. Letting go of the land felt like letting go of a heavy weight. With the money, I decided to do something for myself, something I had never done before. I decided to travel. I had never left my small town. The world felt big and scary, but I knew I had to do it. I bought a train ticket, not to the next town, but to the sea. I had always wanted to see the sea. Leo had promised to take me one day. I decided to take myself. The journey was long. I sat by the window and watched the world go by. I felt a little scared, but also a little excited. It was the first time I was doing something just for me. When I arrived, the sea was more beautiful than I had ever imagined. It was huge. It was powerful. It stretched out to the horizon. I stood on the sand and I watched the waves. They would crash on the shore and then pull back. Crash and pull back. It was a constant, steady rhythm. I thought about my life. The 10 years of waiting were like a huge wave that had crashed over me. It had knocked me down. It had pulled me under. But I was still standing. I was on the shore. The wave was gone. The sea was calm. I cried. I cried for the girl I was. I cried for the love I lost. I cried for the years that were gone. But these were not just sad tears. They were also tears of release. I was letting go of the pain. I was letting go of the anger. I was letting go of the past. I stayed by the sea for a week. I walked on the beach every day. I collected shells. I ate new kinds of food. I talked to strangers. I learned that the world was full of different stories, different people, different kinds of happiness. My small town was not the whole world. My story with Leo was not my only story. When I returned home, something inside me had changed. I was calmer. I was stronger. I was not just Olivia, the girl who waited. I was Olivia, a woman who had seen the sea, a woman who was starting to write her own story. I started to find joy in small things again. The warmth of the sun on my face, the taste of a sweet strawberry, the sound of children laughing. My world was slowly getting its color back. I never saw Leo again. I heard he moved to a different city with his new family. I hope he found peace. I hope he is a good father to his son. I have no more anger for him, only a quiet sadness for what we lost, and a quiet gratitude for the lessons I learned. I learned that you cannot control what other people do. You can only control yourself. You can only control your own promises. I kept my promise, and that is what matters. I also learned that life does not end when one dream dies. You can find new dreams. You can build a new life, a life that is just for you. My name is Olivia. I am 39 years old. My life is not what I planned. It is not the simple story I dreamed of under the oak tree. It is a more complicated story. It has pain and heartbreak, but it also has strength. It has resilience. It has a woman who learned to save herself. I still have the small wooden bird. I keep it in a box with his old letters. It is a part of my past, a past that made me who I am today. I am still working at the bakery, but now I am the owner. I love my work. I love creating something beautiful and warm for people. I am not waiting anymore. I am living. I am building my own small house with my own big garden. I am planting flowers for myself. Sometimes, when young girls come into the bakery with love in their eyes, I want to tell them my story. I want to tell them to be strong, to love with all their heart, but to never, ever forget to love themselves first. It's okay to feel scared when you have to start over. It's okay to be sad for what you lost, but you can do it. You can find your own strength. You can build your own happiness, just like I did. You can do this too. Keep going. Your story is not over yet. It is just beginning.